Hey guys, Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, and here we are with the first game of my 5 game Nolan Ryan replay. Yeah, this is 1974 Nolan Ryan, a set of cards that I had off on a shelf somewhere, pretty much ignored for a long time, and I decided, okay, let me get these out. This is going to be Strat Advanced, and I'm going to play 5 Ryan starts and just get a feel for what it was like to watch Ryan in 1974. He had about 200 walks in about 330 innings or so. So almost 6 per game. So I'm going to see how Strat-O-Matic can kind of emulate that. So let's go. Let's start quickly here with the lineups. It's going to be Mickey Rivers playing for the California Angels. In center field, Denny Doyle, the second baseman, Bobby Valentine, the left fielder, Frank Robinson, the DH, Mike Epstein, the first baseman, Bob Oliver, the third baseman, Leroy Stanton, the right fielder, Ellie Rodriguez, the catcher, and Dave Chalk, the shortstop. Now, let me tell you, it wasn't easy putting this California team together because Frank Robinson and Bob Oliver both came in as, teamless players. And I didn't have that extra player set. I was able to get the extra players, and I was able to get the nameless or the teamless players as well. So originally I had actually used the nameless players and made cards for Robinson and Oliver. Mike Epstein, I did make a card for him, not difficult because he batted 160 and 057 against lefties. So all I had to do is kind of remove all the hits off his lefty side. And that's it. So for the Chicago White Sox, who in '74, I think they had actually a pretty good record, if I remember correctly. I have to double check that, but it's Pat Kelly, the right fielder, Ken Henderson in center field. First baseman is Dick Allen. Bill Melton, the third baseman, Carlos May, the left fielder, Ron Santo, the DH, George Orta, the second baseman, Ed Herman, the catcher, and Bucky Dent, the shortstop. It's going to be Wilbur Wood, the lefty, on the mound for the White Sox. So let's do this. Let me get some Strat-O-Matic dice, right? Oh, Jesus. No, that's not what I wanted to happen. All right, so we're going to get 2 red, and we have the white there. Well, I'm going to get a smaller white if I can. I don't know if I can. Here, yeah, there you go. 2 red and a white, and we're going to have a D20, I believe we need. We'll do a yellow D20. All right, let's play some ball here. Let's do it. Mickey Rivers versus Wilbur Wood. He's a lefty, so it's lefty on lefty. And I guess the white die will tell us the column. So it's column 6, and that's going to be off the pitcher against a lefty. And then a 9 is going to be a bouncer to second base, played by second baseman Orta. And that's 1 out. So Mickey Rivers flying down the line, but Orta gets it there to beat him by half a step. Here's Denny Doyle, another lefty. And it's a 2, so that's going to be off of Doyle this time. A 2 and a 10. That's a ground ball, a comebacker right back to Wood. And he feels his position and throws out Doyle 2 away. And it's Bobby Valentine. And it's a 6, so that's going to be off the pitcher. He's a righty this time with a 6 and a 5, and that's a fly ball. Cracks one to right center field. On the run is Pat Kelly, and Pat Kelly gets there to retire the side. 3 up and 3 down. Remember to like and subscribe my channel to get more content. And it just shows your appreciation. And here comes Nolan Ryan. This is going to be interesting. Versus Nolan Ryan versus Pat Kelly leading off the bottom of the first. So this is going to be quite interesting. You got against lefties, a couple of walks there, a couple more there. Against righties, he's got 3 walks right in the middle. and then 2 walks on 6, column 6. Excuse me. So this is going to be against a lefty, column 5, and a 5 is a strikeout. So he blows a fastball by Pat Kelly. Next is Ken Henderson, a switch hitter, so he'll be batting lefty. And that is a 2 against the righty Ryan, and an 11 is a bouncer to the first baseman. Mike Epstein picks it up and steps on the bag ahead of Henderson. Excuse me. And now it's Dick Allen, right-hander. And that is a right-hander with an 8, and that is ball 4. So he gets his first walk of the game. In this game, he walked 10 batters. So he walks one here in the first. And next up is Bill Melton. And that's going to be a 3 against the righty. A 3 and a 10 is a 1-7 single. That's line base hit, and runner advances 1 base. Thank you, Strat-O-Matic, for actually telling me how many bases the guy takes, rather than having me calculate all this stuff. So I got runners on first and second with 2 outs, and here's Carlos Mejia, another lefty hitter. So let's see what happens. And that's a 3 on the righty, and a 6 is going to be a ground ball hit to short, goes to second to end the inning of force. And 2 are left, 1 hit, no runs. And we go to Albert second. So far we're having a good time here. There's no too many X's. X is a little bit of a drag for me. I would like to see it a different way. More simplified error system. But okay, here's the Frank Robinson card. I want you to take a look at that. That's the classic Frank Robinson card from the teamless player set. There was 4 teamless players in 1974. And Frank Robinson is one of them, and I was able to get that card. So I thank you for helping me out there. All right, so it's going to be a 5 against a right-hander, a 5 and a 9, and that is bounce to second base. And that is, who do we say, Orta, up with it and fires the first. Now here's the card I created. He's a first baseman of a 4. He's a lefty hitter. And versus lefties, he's got no hits, right? And, well, he's got a home run because he did hit a home run against lefties. In 60 at-bats, he hit 1 home run. Here against righties, he's going to face more righties, so I left him with the same thing, 1-19 on a 6. But he does have some hits against, not many. I had to remove some hits here because the card is 210 batting average. But he batted 161, I believe, with an 0.57 against lefties. So really no hits. The hits should come off the pitcher card. So here's Wilbur Wood to the lefty, Mike Epstein. It's a 1 and a 7 is going to be a strikeout. So a curveball from Wilbur Wood. And that is 1 away. 2 away, excuse me. And here's Bob Oliver. He's a right-hander. And that is a 4 and a 6, which will be a 1-4 single, and that's a ground ball and through for base hit. So it's a 2-out single for Bob Oliver. Not a great. He's a D base stealer, and he is a 1-12 speed on the bases. And here is Lee Stanton. I remember Lee Stanton with the Mariners in '77. I think he joined the Mariners 3 years later. He bounced around a little bit. I think he was even with the Mets at some point. All right, here's Lee or Leroy Stanton. And that is, he's a righty, so that's going to be a 6 and a 9 is popped up. Right side, first baseman, Dick Allen, takes it, and that retires the side. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Go to the bottom of the second. So Nolan Ryan walked his first batter in the first inning. See how he does here in the second inning. All right, here we go. So, and this is going to be a righty hitter. And that's a 5 and an 8, and that's a strikeout. Just missed a walk there. All right, so Nolan Ryan blows it by Ron Santo, and here comes George Orta. He's a lefty this time, but it's going to be off the Orta's card, an 8, and that's strike 3. So he gets called, looking, 2 down. And Ed Herman, he's lefty, and that will be off of the batter card, a ground ball hit at the shortstop, and gloved by Chalk, and that retires the side. 3 up and 3 down, so easy inning for the Ryan Express. And here comes Wolverwood in the bottom. Here comes Wolverwood in the top of the third. Going to be Ellie Rodriguez, the catcher, Dave Chalk, shortstop, and then the top of the order, Mickey Rivers. So he's a righty, so I'm looking at this side if it's on the pitcher and it's on the batter. It's a 2 and a 5, and that's strike 3. So strikes out Ellie Rodriguez. Next is Dave Chalk. He's a righty. If it's off the pitcher, and it is a 6 and an 8. That's popped up. Left side. Third baseman backing up on the outfield grass, and he makes the catch. 2 out. Here is Mickey Rivers. It's off the pitcher. He's a lefty, and a 7 is a ground ball and base hit through the right side. So Mickey Rivers, and he's a base stealer. He's an 8 base stealer. So an 8 base stealer steals 1 to 15, and I'm just going to use there's no hold rating on these pictures. I will give him the 2 for being held, but and the catcher, I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to give him -2, so it's a 13, and I rolled a 1, so that could be a catcher error on the throw. Now, I don't know catcher error. Let's see if these cards are set up that way. If the catcher has a separate error number. I don't know that he does. Let's see, Ed Herman. No, he does not have any catcher error number, so we're just going to give Mickey Rivers a stolen base. And now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and it's Denny Doyle, a lefty. Here's a pitch from Wood. That is a 6 and a 9, and that's going to be bounced to second. Played by Orta, and he throws out Doyle, and that retires the side. No runs. 1 hit, 1 left. They strand the man at second base. And we go to the bottom of the third. Wolverwood versus Nolan Ryan. 1974 cards that are hard to find, out of production. Bucky Dent, the hero from the 1978 wild card game between the Yankees and the Red Sox. He hit that 3-run homer in the 8th inning after fouling a ball off his foot. And here's a pitch from Nolan Ryan. He's a righty, and that is a 5 and a 10, and that's a strikeout. So throws a fastball past Dent, who swings late and strikes out. He heads to the bench, and here's the top of the order, the lefty Pat Kelly. Ryan winds and deals. It's going to be off of Kelly, and a 6 is a strikeout. So back-to-back Ks here, and Ryan has 5 Ks so far. Next is Ken Henderson, switch hitter, batting lefty against the righty Ryan. He's batting lefty, so it's a 6 and a 10, and that'll be a catcher X result. Where is that? Here it is. Okay. Catcher X results. And the catcher, Ed Herman. Wait a second. Was it Ed Herman? Yeah. No, we're on the other side. So the catcher would be Ellie Rodriguez. And Ellie Rodriguez, catcher number is a 2. He is a 2. And with the D20 is a 1. That's a foul out. Foul out to the catcher. So a 6 and a 10 is a catcher, and he fouls out. FO2, and that retires no runs, no hits, and Ryan's retired 7 in a row. Now remember, Ryan had an outstanding ERA in 1974. I think it was in the low twos off the top of my head. So we go to the top of the fourth inning. We have a good game going here, a scoreless game. Love these close scoreless games. Bobby Valentine versus Wilbur Wood. Third place hitter for the Angels. Here's a pitch, and that is off Wood's card. It's a 4, so then it's a 4 and an 11, and that's a fly ball right field X on an 8. The right fielder is Stanton. And let's see what Stanton gets out there in right field. I didn't write any numbers down. A little bit lazy. Let's see. Hold on a second. What am I looking at? So Wood down here, I would be looking at Pat Kelly. I'm sorry. No, it can't be Pat Kelly because they're up, right? So I'm looking at Pat Kelly. That's why I'm not finding it. And he's a leadoff batter. There he is. Okay. So Pat Kelly, the right fielder, right? That's what it said. It was 4 against a righty, and an 11 is a fly out to right. So Pat Kelly is a 4. No, he's a 4 in right field. And we rolled an 8. And that is left and right fielder, a 4 and an 8, and that's going to be an error check. Oh, but we can't use this one. Can't use this one because they don't have those numbers, so we have to use the other chart, which I have over here. Okay, so we're going to use this one. The outfield, a 4 and an 8, and that's going to be safe at third on a 3-base error. So a 3-base error on Pat Kelly, E9. And Bobby Valentine is in scoring position. We're going to play the infield in. And here's Frank Robinson. So Wilbur Wood now in a predicament. And he's a righty, so that's a 5 and a 6, and that's going to be a drive in the gap. That's going to split the outfielders, and nobody can get it. It's going to roll to the wall. And an RBI double for Frank Robinson, who batted about 250 with 22 home runs, so he contributed for sure. And this was towards the end of the twilight of his career. The Angels have taken a 1-0 lead here, an error, and now a double, and it's going to be Mike Epstein, the Super Jew, batting from the left side against Wilbur Wood. First pitch, and that's going to be off of Epstein, and a 6 is it's a home run. That's a deep drive. That ball is gone. So look at that. Roll the 6, and that's his home run number, a 3 and a 6, and then the 18 puts it out of the park, drives one deep to right center field, and adios, muchacho. So a 2-run homer, and the Athletics lead at 3-0. Even a 160 hitter can contribute. He did hit 4 home runs and 60 at-bats. So here comes Bob Oliver. He's a righty now against Wilbur Wood, but that is off Oliver against a lefty. That's a 1 and a 6, and that's going to be a triple-double splits, and no, a triple-single splits. That's line base hit to left. So Oliver rips one. He's another guy who batted to about 250, hit about 9 home runs in half the season. Here's Lee Stanton now with a runner on first. Wilbur Wood can go 8, so his point of weakness starts in 8. So here goes. He's a righty, and that's a 4 and a 7, straight 3. So that's the first out of the inning. A big out here for Wilbur Wood. Ellie Rodriguez is next, and he is a righty, and that's a 6, and a 4 is a catcher X with an 11. And what did we say the catcher was? Should have wrote that down. The catcher. Herman was what? And Herman was a 3 catcher. The other catcher was a 2 catcher. So a 3 catcher. And we rolled what, an 11? Oh, we can't do this one. I keep on. And that's for super advanced. A 3 catcher with an 11 is a 3 catcher with an 11 is a foul out. So it's popped up behind the plate, and right there is Herman near the stands and makes the grab. So 2 away. Now this is the American League, and this is the second league of the DH, so we don't have to worry about pitchers. So that makes the replay much easier. I recommend if you're learning a new game, hey, pick an American League team with a DH, and that's going to minimize your substitutions, so you can just focus on learning the mechanics of the game. And I would pick an older season versus a newer season, because there's a lot of substitutions, a lot of pitching changes in the newer seasons. So I would just pick 2 good pitchers and play the same game multiple times as you learn the game. I actually have a video on tips and advice on how to learn a new game, right? A lot of guys play the same game, and I think they feel like they're missing out. There's a lot of great games nowadays. It's just a more modern approach in game design, and we have a lot more access to information today than we did in the past. Not to say the games are not good in the past, but there's also, the modern games have a nice, interesting element to them as well. All right, so it's Dave Chalk. He is a right-hander. Here's the pitch from Wilbur Wood with 2 out and 1 on. And that is going to be a 5 against a righty, and an 11 is going to be a ground ball X to second base. And the second baseman is George Orta. Not a great fielder from what I remember. Yeah, he's a 4 at second base. And what did I roll? A 10? So he is a 4, and a 10 is going to be, he makes the play. Out with number 4, out with no runners are forced. If no runners are forced, runner holds. So it's a fielder's choice, 4-6 to end the inning. All right, so 3 runs come in on a couple of hits, 3 hits actually, 3 hits, but the big hit was the 2-run home run. And now we go to the bottom of the 4th. Let's see if Nolan Ryan can maintain control. Here's Dick Allen. He's a right-hander, so we're going to look at this side in case it's on the pitcher's card. So Nolan Ryan checks in with Ed Herman and winds and deals. So it is going to be a 4 there, and a 5 will be a strikeout. Number 6 for Ryan. High hard one flies by Dick Allen, who swings wildly. Here's Bill Meltman, another righty, and that again is against a righty and a 6, and that's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks, so 7 for Ryan. And here comes Carlos May, a left-hander, so he may give Ryan trouble. Let's see what happens. Back-to-back Ks so far, and that's a 5 against a lefty and a 7, ball 4. That's the second walk. Remember, he averaged about 5.5 walks per game, so so far he's got 2. So let's see how close Strat-O-Matic can get to that 5.5. I believe Strat-O-Matic is going to get very, very close. I believe it's got a good basis in numbers. It's a good foundational game. Now the dice is another story, right? The dice have a mind of their own. All right, so 2 out, 1 on, and here is Ron Santo. Ron Santo, I remember him on the Cubs, right? Those big Cubs teams of the late 60s, early 70s. They were running neck and neck with the Mets there for a while. All right, he's a righty, so if it's on, no, it's going to be up here. It's a 3 and a 2, and that is ripped to short. Shortstop Chalk flips to second baseman Doyle for the force, and that retires the side. So no runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. And we go to the top of the fifth inning. I use these Digi dugout score sheets, and these numbers are so small, so I usually just write them in, make them bigger. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, Wilbur Wood. Yikes. Let's see, Wilbur Wood. What did I just do? It's the top of the order. Mickey Rivers. It's Wilbur Wood here to start the. But Rivers is 1 for 2 with a single and a stolen base. He's a lefty. And that is a 2 and a 3, and that's popped up. Middle infield, shortstop, second baseman come together, and it's the shortstop, Bucky Dent. Yeah, Dent went over to the Yankees, I believe, in '77 as a free agent. And next is Denny Doyle. Here's a pitch. And that's a 2 again and a 5, and that'll be bounced to second base. Charging is a second baseman, Orta, and he makes the play, 2 away. That's 0 for 3 for Denny Doyle. And here is Bobby Valentine, who's 0 for 2, but he scored on it after reaching on an error to right. Here's a pitch from Wood, and that is off Wood, a 5 and a 10, and that's ball 4. So Wood walks, a 2-out walk to Bobby Valentine. That is the first walk allowed by. This is a force out. And here's Frank Robinson. And Frank Robinson doubled in a run in the 4th inning. It's a pitch from Wood. It's a righty. So it's a 2 and a 2 and an 8. That's a bounce to the third. Charging hard is third baseman Melton and fires a strike for the 3rd out. So no runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. So this game is moving along nicely. Nolan Ryan is dominating. Let's tidy this card up a little bit. It's a little rough. Yeah, let's go. A little bit. All right. Nolan Ryan versus George Orta in the bottom of the 5th. Let's do it. And that is off Orta, a 3 and a 5, and that'll be line base hit to center field. So he rips a single off Ryan, a rope off the bat of George Orta. And next is Ed Herman. Remember, it's 3-0 Angels. Here's the pitch. He's a righty. Oh no, he's actually a lefty. And that is off Ryan, and a 7 will be ball 4. So that's the 3rd walk allowed by Ryan. 1st and 2nd now. And Bucky Dent's going to bat. No bunting right here. Going to just let him bat, swing away. And he's a righty. So it's a 2 and a 10. And that is ripped at the shortstop. It goes to second for 1. Back to first. And it's a 6-4-3 or chalk to Doyle to Epstein. Double play. Moves the runner on second to third. And the top of the order, Pat Kelly, the lefty, here against Ryan. Ryan's almost out of the situation. He allowed the first 2 runners to reach on a walk, his 3rd walk of the game. And then, of course, the leadoff single by Orta. So here's Pat Kelly. Nolan Ryan's going to have to reach back for a little extra. And there's 2 outs, 1 on. And Pat Kelly, the lefty, he struck out twice. And it's going to be 3 and a 5, and that's ball 4. That's the 4th walk allowed by Ryan. But this time it was off the batter card. And now it's Ken Henderson, switch hitter, batting lefty. Here's the pitch from Ryan. He takes the sign from Rodriguez. And that's a 6. He's batting lefty, and a 9 is going to be a 1 is a single. I rolled a 2, so that's lined and caught by the shortstop, chalk, and that retires the side. So no runs, 1 hit, 2 left, and Just got through that one. Ryan can actually, his point of weakness is the 9th. Crazy. Love to see that, right? You don't see that in modern games. All right, here is Wilbur Wood continues. We're going to have, hopefully we have both these pitchers go a complete game. That'll be fun. Don't see that much anymore. A complete game today is not unlike almost a shutout or a no-hitter, because you just don't see any complete games anymore. So here's Mike Epstein, who's got a 2-run home run. And here is the pitch. And that's going to be a 2 and a 9, and it's going to be a fly ball to right field for the first out. So he lifts one to right. Backing up a couple of steps is Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly settles under it and gloves it for the out. 1 out. Nobody on. Bob Oliver, righty this time. And that is a 3 and a 5, and that is cracked to center, a drive. And on the run is Henderson, and Henderson flags it down for out number 2. That's another teamless card, right? And now it's going to be Leroy Stanton. Pitch from Wilbur Wood. He's a righty. And that is a 2 and an 11, and that is hit hard right at the third baseman. Up with it is Melton over to first, and that retires the side. 3 up and 3 down, so easy inning for Wilbur Wood. Go to bottom of the 6th, excuse me. After 5.5, it's 3-0 Angels. Nolan Ryan, we're doing our 5-game Nolan Ryan replay, just to get a feel for what Nolan Ryan was all about back in 1974, and there was a reason to use my 1974 Strat-O-Matic cards. These, of course, are out of production. You're not getting these, so I'm sorry I can't help you either. I can barely help myself. All right, so here's Dick Allen, who's 0 for 1 with a walk against Nolan Ryan. He's a righty, so if it's off, it's going to be a 3 and a 7, and that's ball 4. That's walk number 5. So Allen trots down to first base. Next is Bill Melton. Pitch from Ryan, and that's a 2 and an 8. And that's hit hard at the shortstop. Flips to second for 1. The throw to first, not in time. So Melton running hard. Hits into a fielder's choice, and here comes Carlos May, the lefty. And Nolan Ryan shakes off a sign from the catcher Ellie Rodriguez, and now he likes what he sees, and he winds and deals. And that's a 6. He's a lefty, and a 3 is going to be a ground ball to short. We're looking at an 11. The shortstop is Dave Chalk, and Chalk is not very good. Chalk is, I didn't write his number down. Dave Chalk is a shortstop 4. And we got an 11, shortstop 4 and 11. And that's going to be a fielder's choice. So a 4 is if no runners are forced, runners hold 1 out with 1 or more runners forced, batter is safe. Okay. So it's a 6-4 fielder's choice. And Carlos May is on first. 2 out, 1 on. And here's Ron Santo. Santo struck out and hit into a force out. And he's a righty. And that is a 3 and an 8. That's ball 4. So he walks. That is number 6. Walk number 6 for Nolan Ryan. He's exactly where he should be now. And we're still only in the 6th inning. And he actually had 10 walks in this game. Here's George Orta with runners on first and second. So the tying run is at the plate, the left-hander, George Orta. And here's the pitch. And it's a 2 against the righty and an 8, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So Nolan Ryan with the fastball blows it by Orta, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, a couple of walks, a couple of men left. And top of the 7th, here we come. We're doing our replay, our Nolan Ryan, 5-game, 1974 cards. Strat-O-Matic, out of production. So it's going to be Eli Rodriguez leading off here in the top of the 7th against Wilbur Wood. Wilbur Wood has his point of weakness is the 8th, and Nolan Ryan is the 9th. So we should have 2 complete games here. And that is a 5. He's a righty. So a 5 is off the pitcher, and a 5 is going to be a triple single and in line base hit till off of the righty and off the pitcher. So Rodriguez is on. I may actually bunt, and let me grab the. Where's the bunt? Sacrifice. Okay, we're gonna roll 2d6, and it's a 8, and the 8 is battered, thrown out by first baseman. Runners advance. Okay, so it's a good sacrifice. 3, 4, let's say, and that brings up Mickey Rivers. Pitch from Wood. He's a lefty, but it's off of Rivers, and a 9 is going to be ball 4. So Rivers walks, and he's a very aggressive swinger, so that's unusual to see a walk. So it puts runners on first and second, and Doyle, another lefty, and that's a 6. That's off the pitcher, and a 6 is a split. So, and that's a drive. 1 run's going to come in. That ball is going to split the outfield's roll to the wall. 1 run scores. The other one's going to be held up at third. They stop Rivers, and it's an RBI double for Denny Doyle. And here comes Bobby Valentine with only 1 out in this inning. Infield is going to be in. Here's the pitch. We need a strikeout. Here's a righty. Yeah, that's going to be off of Valentine, and an 8 is ball 4. And that is walk 1, 2, the second walk. And it's going to load the bases. Wilbur Wood. Here's Frank Robinson, who's got an RBI double. So the game can be broken open here. Got a chance to really give it to the White Sox here in the top of the 7th with the bases loaded, only 1 out. Infield's going to be playing in. The White Sox are down 3-0. Here's a pitch from Wood, and that's a 2. He's a lefty. A 2 and an 11 is a ground ball to short. Actually, a B with the infield in. Here it is. A B with infield in. Runner at third is out. Other runners advance 1 base. Okay, so they throw home. So what do we say? Who got the ball there? We said it was a 2 against a lefty and an 11. It's the shortstop who throws it home. So it's a fielder's choice. First and second. Now the bases are loaded. First and second move up, and Frank Robinson takes first base. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Mike Epstein, who's got a 2-run home run, a lefty who does not hit very well at all. Just rolled exactly what he needed earlier. So here's a pitch from Wilbur Wood, and that's a 3. That should be an out. Oh, no, my God. Wait a second. Look at this. 3 versus a lefty. Home run. I rolled a 6 again, and a 1. 1-19, and that ball is launched way back into the seats, and it's his 2nd home run of the game, and it's a grand salami. Remember, he hits 1 home run in 60 at bats, and he did play this game against Wilbur Wood. He was a starter in this game. So now that's gonna be it for Wilbur Wood in this game. We're not gonna let him go any farther. We're just gonna grab a reliever and let the reliever finish out this game. Let's see who we got here. I got a relief pitcher, a guy named Cy Acosta. I got one of those extra player cards. Cy Acosta is going to come in. I don't even know if he was with the team at this time, but he's going to come in and and pitch to Bob Oliver with 2 out. And the Angels leading, that was how many runs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 runs came in there, 4 on the grand slam and 1 on the double. So 8-0. Bob Oliver. Acosta's a righty. Bob Oliver's a righty. It's a 2 and a 7, and that's a 1-2-11 single. That's line base hit. So the hits keep on coming. The hit parade for the Angels. Here's Leroy Stanton, and that's going to be a 2 against the right-hander, and a 6, and struck him out, and that retires the side. Yikes! So 5 more runs on 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits and a couple of walks. We go to the 7th inning stretch. Acosta comes in. So it was in the 7th, and he got 1 out. So it was really 6 2/3. And gave up 8 runs. Yikes! I think they were all earned. Actually, that one was unearned. So there's 1 unearned run. So you gave up 7 runs in 6 innings over Wood. Got hammered. All right, Nolan Ryan, and that's why we're playing this game. Let's see what he does here. He's got 3 more innings to complete. He's facing Ed Herman. Ed Herman walked and grounded out. Here's the pitch from Ryan, and it is off Ryan, and that's a 6, and that'll be a strikeout. So he collects another strikeout, and that is his 8th and 9th strikeout of the game. Wow. All right, Bucky Dent is next. Nolan Ryan winds and deals. And that is a 2, and a 6 is popped up. Third base side. And over there is Bob Oliver for the 2nd out. And now it's Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly's 0 for 2 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch from Ryan. It's a 6. He's a lefty, a 6 and a 5, and that's a Splitsville drive in the gap off after it is right fielder Leroy Stanton, and he comes up with the ball. Nice running grab by Leroy Stanton. Could have been a triple. It was a fly-out triple split. So he saved at least a triple there for sure, and or at least a double, but probably a triple. And here comes Acosta. So no runs, no hits. Easy inning for Nolan Ryan. And it's going to be Ellie Rodriguez leading off, who's 1 for 3 today against Acosta. So here's a pitch. And it's a 4 and an 11, and that's a fly ball left X. So the left fielder is Carlos May. Not a good fielder at all. Another poor fielder. Carlos May left is a 3. So let's get this chart. Outfield 9 and a 3. And that's going to be a double. A ball that drops in, so it's like a range hit. So a double for Ellie Rodriguez. That puts him on 2nd base. Next is Dave Chalk. Pitch from Acosta. And that's a 2 against Acosta. It's a 2 and a 7. That's a strikeout. So nice curveball by Acosta. And Chalk misses it by about a foot. Here's Mickey Rivers. And a 5 and a 9. And that's a ground ball shortstop with a 16. What did I say our shortstop was? I don't think I did. But Dent was actually a pretty good shortstop. But he's a 3 here. So that's a 3, and we roll a 16, and that's going to be, there's no force, so he's going to hold. So a ground ball to Dent, he feels it and throws out, looks the runner back to 2nd. We're in the top of the 8th, 8-0 blowout here. Nolan Ryan's first start. And remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and click on that little bell so you get alerted to my replay games. That's going to be a 6, so that's off the pitcher against a lefty, a 6 and a 4, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So, right there. So no runs, a hit, one left, and Costa's still doing a pretty good job for us. Saya Costa, never heard of the guy. Here's Nolan Ryan versus Ken Henderson. Henderson's 0 for 3. He's grounded out, fouled out, and lined out. And that's going to be a 4 for switch hitter who's batting lefty, and a 6 is a strikeout. So he collects his 10th strikeout of the game. Nolan Ryan whiffs Ken Henderson. Next up is 0 for 1 Allen with 2 walks. Here's the pitch. And that is a 1 and a 4, and that's a fly ball. A drive to left, and backing up is Carlos Mann. He gets there. I'm sorry. Backing up is Bobby Valentine, and he gets there. So 2 out. And here's Bill Melton. Pitch. And that is a 1 against the righty and a 9, ball 4. That's a 7th walk allowed. Number 7 by Ryan. So Bill Melton walks off the Melton card. And next is Carlos May, the lefty. And it's a 1, so it's off the batter, and a 7, and that's lined, ripped, and caught by the first baseman, Mike Epstein. All right, so that retires the side. We're headed to the 9th inning, so it's going to be last licks for the actually, no, I'm sorry. It'll be last licks for Chicago, but first, of course, the Angels have to bat against Saya Costa's in there, against Bobby Valentine, and that is a 3 and a 9, and that is bounced to short. Easy play for the shortstop Dent. 1 away. So Bobby Valentine probably finishes 0 for 3 with two walks. Next is Frank Robinson. It's a 1 and a 6, and that's a deep drive to left center field, and that ball is way back. Looking up is Carlos May, and that's gone. Home run, Frank Robinson. He did hit 22 home runs. So he's got 2 hits today, a double and a homer. Contributing late in his career. Next is Epstein. And that is, he's a lefty, so that's going to cost us a righty. So it's a 1 and an 8, and that's a strikeout. Curveball gets Epstein. 2 out. And it's Oliver. It's a 9-0 right now. Angels. And it is a 2, and that's a 5, and that's going to be line base hit to left. So it rips a single. Oliver with 4 hits today. And here, 2 out, 1 on. Here is Leroy Stanton, who's 0 for 4. Pitch from Acosta. And that is a 5 against the righty. A 5 and a 4 is popped up. Right side, first baseman, Dick Allen. He's there. And I retired the side. So 1 run on 2 hits, 1 left. And it's last licks for the White Sox. They find themselves down 9-0. We got Epstein with 2 home runs, a big day with 6 RBIs, including a grand slam. And we have Frank Robinson with a solo home run. And it's going to be Nolan Ryan versus Ron Santo. Let's do it. Here's the pitch. And that is a 2 and a 7, and that struck him out. Number 11 for Nolan Ryan. Gives him the heat. And Santo whiffs. Here is George Orton, a lefty. And that's a 2 and a 6, and that's line base hit to right. So he rips a single off of Ryan. Next is Ed Herman. Pitch from Ryan. And that is a 1 and a 10, and that's a fly ball, right field. No, yep, right field. There is over Leroy Stanton, and he makes the catch. Holding at first is George Jordan. Here's Bucky Dent. 9-0. Not bringing any pinch hitters or anything. Let Bucky Dent bat. Pitch from Ryan, and that is a 3 and a 5, and hit hard at the shortstop. Flips it to the second baseman covering, and that's the ball game. So my first game ever using these 74 Strat-O-Matic cards ends in a 9-0 beating of the White Sox. Ryan pitches a shutout. Let's take a look at what he did, and let's just quickly use some colors here to quickly. So the hits will be green. He gave up 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits in the game. Now the walks will be yellow, so they'll be really standing out. You walked 1 here, walked another there, walked a couple in this inning, the 5th. Oh, wrong one there. So that is, let's fix that a little bit here so it doesn't look like that. There we go. It was a 6. And so that's 4, then 5, another one, 6, and then finally 7 walks. So Ryan, 7 walks. How many hits did I say? 1, 2, 3 hits, 3 singles. Gets the victory. Gave up no runs. And how many strikeouts? Let's do our strikeouts in red. It's always fun to. So that's 4, 5 so far, and 6 and 7. I also do the numbers in the box score. 8, 9, 10, 11 strikeouts. What a day for Nolan Ryan. A typical day: 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. Only 3 hits, shuts out the White Sox, and that's really all I care about. So the final score is 9-0, 3 hits, 1 error here, no errors there, and that 3-base error by the right fielder Kelly, and hits. So I didn't do the hits for them. Let me just do the hits for them. They had a bunch of hits. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 hits. So 9 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Angels. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the White Sox, and that's opening day, April 5th, 1974, our first replay game of the 5-game replay, Nolan Ryan replay that I'm doing. So thanks for watching. This is Tony Porter. Remember, like and subscribe. Join the Universal Baseball Association Facebook group. And I don't remember who Ryan plays next, but I will let you know on the schedule. And I hope you enjoyed seeing these old-time 1974 cards that are no longer available, not available in stores. And take care. Have a good night.